This is the end of the friendship zone for you. By the end of this video, I promise that you're going to be confident in never having those feelings again of pain, of hurt that's associated with the friendship zone. So I want to pre-warn that I'm not no professional, no therapist, but I am someone with real life experience and say for this subject, friendship zone, I've been in it. I've been in it a few times and I've gotten out of it. I'll be honest, sometimes it's been through parting ways and sometimes it has actually been from turning into a romantic relationship, and that's of course the goal. But either way, it's not nice being in the friendship zone. As I mentioned, not a nice feeling, full of pain, full of hurt, especially when she starts talking about other men. And it can be draining and frustrating. I've got another video on this channel just explaining how I got into learning about relationships and studying it. And by studying it, I mean it's all independent, reading books, watching videos like these, and you start learning, and turns out what prompted that was being stuck in the friendship zone. So I know what it feels like, but we're going to get to the bottom of it, and I've written down um, kind of what I feel is common across all of the times of being in the friendship zone, and kind of go-to ways that I'd go to about it if I was in the situation again. Sorry. So let's go. So the first thing I want to go over is basically why the friend zone exists, and usually I see it's like two reasons. Number one is because the woman that you're speaking to, you've asked her, um, were you gonna date? I fancy you. Some kind of declaration that you want to be romantic with her, and she's gone. I really, really like you, but I think it's just best to be friends. It happens all the time. We know about it. But if you agree to it, you agree into the friendship zone, you're in it then. That's the only kind of caveat of it. So that's one way that you can get into it. And the second way is by not being honest about your feelings. And yeah, this one's a tough one because it means there's some personal growth on your side to do, basically, because um, you clearly like the woman, and the annoying bit is that she can like you. You can genuinely be a great match for a romantic relationship, but because you can't say, I really fancy you, let's go on a date, let's do it, you fall into being friends, and these combined basically create the friendship zone. This is why they exist. This is why we hear about the friendship zone. I mean, it's not a real word, but it's just been created because of these two reasons. So I hope you fall into one. Of course, I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychologist. None of those. So there's of course a lot of science behind it, but this is just like real stuff from my real life, basically. And we hear about it, and this is where I think it's kind of coming from. It's all my opinion, but I hope it helps. And I won't be making this video unless I think I can help you guys. So we've established that there's friendship zones, and that kind of establishes why you're in it because you probably come under one of them. But it's okay. We'll get out of them, and we need to get this sorted. The only thing I would say, and I do want to say this, is that if you come under the first one and she has rejected you, I hate using that word, but she said the kind of let's be friends because I don't think I'm ready for a relationship, all the crap they give us, eh? Honestly, the chances of getting a successful romantic relationship after this is obviously quite lower than the other way, which would be if you're in the friendship zone because you've just never spoke about it. So it's a bit of a weird one because it's like either being blinded or knowing that she may not have an interest in you. And I say may because sometimes women can test and be like, no, I'm not feeling it. Weird as it sounds, they're just kind of seeing what kind of man you are. You know, are you gonna cave and just be like a friend or it's basically very normal for this type of thing to happen, and for a woman to say, "Oh no, we'll be friends though, you know, I'll leave it." But you give the girl the number, and then a couple of weeks later, she ends up messaging you saying, "You know what, I'll go on that date." It happens, right? So anyway, just want to put that out there, and it kind of leads on to my next point, which is that this tactic, I guess you call it, I'm going to call it kind of the attraction reset. Bit fancy, but basically it's a way just to sort this situation out, a bit of a reality check, and it basically ends up in either you parting ways with her, and it's not all negative because look, you're probably loving this girl right now. She feels like she's the main thing in the world, but there's plenty of beautiful women out there, even prettier. Hate to say it, but they're out there, and look, they're ready for dates for you, honestly. And especially nowadays with like Tinder and stuff, you can have a date next weekend if you want it. So that is the kind of negative, but at the same time it's a bit of a positive because you're getting out of the friendship zone either way and you're moving on. Of course, the other option is that we get you in a relationship with them, and that's perfect. You know, that's what you want. That's why you clicked on this video. So that's what we're going to try, but I just want to put it out there that if you're going to do this method, there's a good chance that you may actually just have to move on, just because of the conditions of this friendship zone that you're in. But at the same time, you're giving it its best chance, in my opinion, doing this technique. So I don't know, you have to weigh it up. Of course, if you are really not in a good place, then I of course advise you to speak to a therapist, counsellor, or someone professional, not me, because this can be quite a big thing, you know. But at the same time, if you are speaking to someone, just speak it through and tell them, you know, look, I'm thinking of doing this, thinking of parting ways with so and so, because deep down I really want to be with them, and it's crushing me inside. You know, it's always best to talk about things, and it's always best to speak about a mate about this. And you know what, I will talk about that later as well. But yeah, wanted to put that out there because it's a big thing. So the attraction reset, this is what I'm calling it. So pretty much we're in this situation. What we're going to have to do when you're ready to move on and do this, then you're going to set a date. And it's not a date, it's just the time you're going to meet and talk about this situation. And ideally you want it in person. You know, it's quite a heavy subject. So meet her in person. If not, maybe like a video call. If not, call, and then obviously text. But you want to really like meet her in person. The thing with this though is this where people procrastinate, and when I say people, like me, I would put this off for weeks and months, because no one wants this kind of conversation, because you know it could be the end of your friendship. Even though it's a friendship, to you it's a bit like a relationship, because you know you love her. And that's the truth of it. You can literally be in the friendship zone. I've been in it for years. Well, I say it's probably like a year and a half. I was speaking in my last video, and yeah, you can genuinely love them, but you're friends, and it's terrible. But anyway, look, you need to set the date, and you need to try and not procrastinate. And I'd say like within a week from this video, let's get it planned in, sorted. You're probably going to choose the 7th day, but that's just human. And I'd say I can't hold you accountable, but maybe your friend can, or someone in your family can, and you're gonna have to say to them, look, I really like blah blah blah. This is what you're gonna say to your friend, and say, look, I'm gonna speak to them in 7 days, and they're probably gonna say yeah, and then you can decide. It might come up in conversation anyway, but you can say like, do you reckon you can check in with me just to double check I actually do it, because yeah, I don't trust myself. It's difficult conversation. I'm probably going to procrastinate it. So you can say that, and just adds a little bit of accountability there. And psychologically, you're more likely to do it, because you know that like It's been put in the air, it's been spoken about, I need to do this. Right, so the date set, once you meet up with her, okay, go in with like a decent mind, fresh mind, and maybe listen to a bit of classical music before. And you want to go in with the idea that this could be the end, but at the same time, you could have a date. It's a crazy conversation to go into, but stick with the idea of you're staying focused, because she's going to perturb you, try and move you around and try and like, I wouldn't say manipulate, that's a harsh word, but she's going to try and divert you off your path. You're going in with a set thing, which I'm going to tell you in a minute, and she's going to try everything she can to go whoop, 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 all different ways. She's going to start talking about all sorts. Or she won't, which is quite unlikely, but you need to go in knowing this, and I'm preparing you so that you can go straight in, deal with the business, and then leave. So, you're going in. This is the key thing I want you guys to say. You're gonna tell her how you feel about her, and that is, of course, I like you, fancy you. Keep it short though. Don't go on a whole like declaration of love, but you want to say how you feel, and you want to follow it up by asking her on a date. Fairly simple, nice and neat, but of course it's scary, so it's going to take a bit of preparation, mental preparation, but you don't want to think about it too much. Just go in and do it, because at the end of the day, you got to think, how long is this going to go on for? Are you going to be in this friendship zone for years? Are you going to picture yourself when you're like 30 years old, or I'm sorry if you're past 30 and you just heard that, let's say 10 years time, no matter what age you are, 10 years time, what's it looking like? Are you still in this friendship zone, or do you want to actually be with a romantic partner? These are what the things you've got to think about, and have this in mind whilst you're in this conversation, and think, this is great, but I'm in the scenario now, it feels good, but this can't go on forever. This is the way you got to feel, right? So, simple. Tell her briefly how you feel about her, of course, in a positive way. And then followed up by asking her on a date. Very simple, a lot harder doing it than said. How do you say that? Easier said than done. That would have been a bit easier to say. So yeah, go for it, and then we're going to prepare you for the answers. So if she says yes, of course it's very, very simple. She says yes. You're out of friendship zone. You've got a date, and we need to start preparing for that date. But one thing to mention, if she does say yes, don't get really excited. Feel it inside. You can have a woohoo inside, but outwardly, keep your cool and be like, wonderful. Set a date, set a time. That's your goal then. Set a date, set a time, leave, right? Tell her a dress code as well sometimes. They like that because, women need to get ready, man. They need to start looking good for you, and they're going to get stressed out, and it's another reason why they might contact you, which is what you don't really want. Now, it sounds weird, but you don't want any follow-ups, you don't want any confirmations, you don't want any maybes. Stick to, we need a definite date, and if she's not giving a definite date, take that as a kind of no, and then it kind of ties into the no, but it's a bit different because obviously she has agreed. Gets a bit complicated. I don't want to complicate this too much, but if she says yes, doesn't confirm on a date, and you need to be clear and say, look, I want to plan things, I've got a life. I need to know a solid date or time for this date, I'm afraid. And hopefully she tells you it. If not, you're going to say, well, you're going to have to tell me another time. And hopefully she will. If she doesn't, then you got to leave it and say, let me know. Let me know when you've got a decent time with your schedule, and she'll come back to you. She might come back to you and say some bullcrap and start talking friends again, but just say no, kind of thing. I'm not having this. You want a date at the end of the day, so you're gonna say no more friend stuff, and you need to shut that friend stuff down. Okay, right. So if she says no, it's where it's going to get a bit more difficult. this is going to be the hard bit, because she's not agreed to the date, and this is where we're going to have to. It's going to be tough. I don't know of a way to break it to you guys, but you're going to have to say, look, this is what I want. I want a romantic relationship, and I understand it's not what you want now, but I can't be friends with you unless it's romantic. So let me know if anything changes. That's the key thing. Simple. I don't even want to say any more on it, because you'll say it in your own way, guys, because of course I'm from England, you might be from America, you might be a different age to me, you might say different things, but keep it very much along those lines in your own terms, and that's it. Don't say no more on it, and you move on. No contact rule. You're not talking to her, okay? This is very, very important. I've written it in bold on my computer, okay? No contact, because you've done a very hard thing, and you don't want it to go all down the drain by speaking to her, because then you speak to her and you're back in the friendship zone. No contact. It confirms that you're real about this, okay? Sorted. If she likes you and the attraction's there, obviously we can't control the attraction, right? But women don't make their attraction clear, so this is what we're trying to figure out. But if her attraction is high, she'll be back in touch within a couple of weeks. Either way, it can be after 2 weeks, it can be years. Honestly, I've had a ex-girlfriend contact me like 2 years later. But look, don't hang on for it. As soon as it's happened, you need to move on. Get yourself on Tinder. It could be anything, but there's loads of dating apps. Go on a walk, speak to your friends, get busy. Just don't hang about, is what I'm trying to say. Apologies, I just had to put my phone on charge. But I'm going to leave you some bonus tips now. And it's, once the date's sorted, you need to lead the date. You aren't her friend anymore. You're a gentleman, okay? You open the doors, you lead her, and you try and not be too friend-like. You need to build sexual attraction now, which is a lot easier said than done, but try and not fall into the friend-like guy, and it's hard to teach all these things in a little bonus tip, but seek advice now on dating. You're in the dating life now, so subscribe to me. Of course, I'm going to say that, but there's books to read as well, and there's plenty more videos on YouTube. Don't mind saying it. You can go over and look at some of the other channels. There's lots out there to help you, but also I'd prefer you to come to me, and I'm going to start to build my channel out a lot more dating advice. So all the best, guys. Honestly, hope it goes well, and either way, you've got yourself dates, whether it's with the same woman or whether it's with new women, but you've got new dates. So yeah, enjoy the dating scene, man, and keep your head up, and we'll get through this, okay? Speak to you soon. Bye bye.